Mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, so today we taking a look at the new offering from the Clipse. So the Clipse ain't dropped the album since uh first album since 2009. And yeah, when I heard they had something new, I was like, all right, I'm interested. But ever since then, ever since it was first announced that they had something new, um, a bunch of wild shit's been happening, to be honest. And at the same time though, at the same time, this is the best time for this album to drop during summer. During summer, bruh. We gonna get into this. This is gonna be a long album review, by the way, because I got a lot of shit to say. Um, so first, before we take a look at the album, which I do have pulled up right here, um, we gonna look at Genius, the Genius website. We've taken a look at them before, and read all the lyrics to Clipse's new album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. So this is their first album since 2009, allegedly. At long last, Clipse are back. The Virginia Beach sibling duo of Pusha T and Malice returned today with Let God Sort 'Em Out, their fourth studio album and first since 2009's Till the Casket Drops. The 13-track collection reunites Push and Malice with their old friend and frequent collaborator Pharrell Williams, who produced every song on the LP. Shout outs to Patridge, pa- Ken Partridge. Shout outs to Ken Partridge for writing this article, and I'm assuming he probably had to link this as well. And I don't know if he had to do the lyrics for all these songs, but the one song that I want the lyrics to is not there. Nor are some of the other songs that are on this album. And this album dropped days ago, July 11th. But for the songs that they do have, shout outs to them for having those lyrics. But as we can see, this album features John Legend, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, The Dream, Stove God, Ab Liva, Nas. Stove God. I had no idea he was on this album when I was listening to the same with Nas. Like I read these in The Dream. I think I read all those track listings, but when I was listening to it, I did not notice Stove God or Nas being on. So I was completely surprised. I was like, oh shit. And they fit on this perfect. And I want to bring up the whole fact that Pharrell produced this whole album. So the last time when I reviewed Snoop Dogg Bush, I think I reviewed it last year. The album came out years ago, like in 2013. So the reason why I wanted to review that album, and I'm glad I did now, is because that album, production wise, was Pharrell experimenting and delving into a completely different field. And I remember in the Piece by Piece movie, which we aired in Discord not that long after that, they spoke about everything that was going on around that time, but they didn't speak about that album at all. And it's crazy because it's like, it just goes to show. Shout outs to Virginia, by the way. For those that don't know, Pharrell and Pusha T and No Malice grew up together, and they all have known each other for a long time. But within the movie, like, it's just showing all that, like that whole everything that was going on around that time. Around the time this album dropped was around the time K Dot's Be Alright came out. So a lot of people didn't know about that album. A lot of people liked that beat, including myself, but I had no idea that was produced by Pharrell when I was listening to Snoop Dogg's Bush album. So like, it's crazy how everything's full circle, but all that to bring to this album, I want to say that he did it again. He basically delved into a completely different sound that he doesn't normally do. He and he did it perfect. There's only one song on this album that I hear and I'm able to say, oh, okay, this sounds like Pharrell's previous production. Like, I can tell that Pharrell did this. All the other songs in this album, I can't tell, but that's a good thing. That's the best possible thing I could say as far as him on this album. Like, this is a classic for those that don't already know, who haven't listened to this album. I'm gonna get into why in a sec, but I like how on this song, when I first listened to it, or when I first listened to it, I think I listened to it a day after it dropped. K Dot wasn't listed on the track listings from what I remember, but I think that that's dope at the time because I knew that, of course, he'd be listed like a couple days later. I think he's listed on there now, but when this album first dropped, I think he wasn't listed, and I do like that because all the people who aren't really interested in the culture and just want to just hype and just run up the numbers on that one specific song, it's disguised. So you have to listen to the whole album to find that song if you don't already know which song K Dot is on, because there's a whole UMG lawsuit that basically pushed this album to a completely different record label for it to release. So this is automatically a historical project within it. Not only is this the 16-year hiatus return of the Clipse, but this album had to get pushed to a different record label because of the politics behind an artist who took a L last year. This artist, oh my god, I've already run lives on the L that artist took, but I remember when I did, I said in it, this isn't done. We can't rank everything yet and run the report card yet until this is fully finished. And this is the reason why, this right here. So for those that don't know, K Dot demolished Drake last year in a diss song battle. Everybody reported on it, and everybody who's not part of hip hop culture wanted to benefit off of it the best way they could, and we're still seeing the aspects of that. But he took such a L, and within that, he filed a lawsuit against a record label stating that apparently they ran some fake numbers up to make a song more successful. Anyways, with this lawsuit, they had Def Jam, the label, had optics issues with them having K Dot collaborate at this time on this album, and they tried to claim that it was because of a specific one-line lyric in his verse, which Pusha T in his interviews has stated that he has stated his stance on it, and I'm in complete agreement with his stance. But it's crazy because this is outside of the album. This whole issue I'm talking about right now is outside of the album, but it's historical. So I do want to point out that on Spotify, they do have the vinyl up. This is an album that I recommend getting the vinyl. I posted in my Discord, the vinyl is, I think, a single LP, because the album is about 40 minutes and it's $25. This is a classic. I think I got to do that. But these features play a big part in why I give this album such a high rating. Pharrell's production and his production mentality. See, that's the thing. That's the one thing that separates Pharrell from everyone else, because it's his production mentality. I've always known that he could do an album like this, and he just did the shit. Like, I don't know who told him I don't know who told him to do this album like this, but this is what I needed. This is what I needed. Like, I like Pharrell produced like most of what's that mystical album? I used to have that shit on CD with Danger. Like, Danger, that was my shit. Shake Your Ass, Watch Yourself, all that shit. That whole album was fucking amazing. And that's when I really was like, yo, Pharrell is that nigga. This is probably my favorite producer. Him and RZA, like, both of them are like my favorites, like some of my favorite producers. But this album though, he was like basically like, I don't know why I got this telekinesis transmission. Someone out there named Poltergeist wants the album that I'm producing to sound like this, so let me just do this real quick. I really feel like that's what he did with this, because all these songs hit the way I need them to. And on top of that, the experimentation with the sounds was perfect. But the features though, like, I like how he got K Dot and Tyler the Creator back to back on the first two tracks, because I believe that K Dot and Tyler the Creator have both worked with Pharrell separate times around the same time, but at the same time, both of them have worked with Pusha T. So we all know that. Shout outs to Mass Appeal. I just did a live talking about them. The last live I did, I talked about them a little bit. Shout outs to Mass Appeal. But Trouble on My Mind, a track that Pusha T did with Tyler the Creator 13 years ago, probably 13 plus years ago, but they've had a connection since back then. And on top of that, this is a fire ass song too. The visualizations of the music video for it is dope as fuck. But then also around the same time, Pusha T has a song called Nostalgia with K Dot, and this dropped about 11 years ago. And for those who are familiar with the song, that song's dope too. But I do want to point out that within both these songs, or both these music videos, they kind of portray Pusha T as like a a a shadowy force. I had to re-clip this because I didn't want to say dark shadow because I said dark shadow last time, and that shit don't sound right when it comes to talking to Pusha T. But I do like how they kind of portray him as like this shadowy being who's just out at night and no one's around because he's just that being. And K Dot just pops in out of nowhere too, and I really like that. But one thing that I do really like about this album is the rollout. I just recently watched an interview last night before I did this with it was a clip of Bootleg Kev interviewing Clipse, and shout outs to Bootleg Kev because he's one of the few people that I can say has enough knowledge on hip hop and just the history to where he can make certain jokes, and you got to be a real hip hop head to know why this joke that he made is so funny, because he's really got knowledge. Shout outs to him. But as you see, K Dot just pops out of nowhere in a fucking alley, and then he does his verse. So Pusha T and Pharrell each have had connections with these two artists since their youth in their career. And I say youth because this was like around the times when they had already had a name, but they were still not really known to the mass audience that they're both known for now. And I'm really glad to see how K Dot and Tyler are both kind of connected more than ever right now currently, because both of them are on a separate success level, but they've also come to notice how every region hates LA. everyone that's not LA hates LA for some reason when it comes to hip hop and content. A lot of people got it twisted and think that there's certain aspects that are portrayed on pretty much just YouTube. It doesn't really leave YouTube, but a lot of these aspects, a lot of people are under the impression that that's really a portion of hip hop. No, it's not. I'm one of the only people that's gonna review this album, bruh, and give it an honest review. So with that said, like I was pointing out, Pusha T has had connections with these two artists since early in their career, and the reason for that is because Pusha T is a real fucking artist and lyricist. And another thing I want to point out too, like I said, Kanye is nowhere near this album. Nowhere near this album. Thank God Kanye is nowhere near this album. Pharrell did exactly what Kanye should have been doing these last 10 years. There, I said it. Y'all want to talk about genius. Like, when you listen to this album, that is going to make a lot more sense. Everybody who listened to Carter 6, listen to this album. Listen to this album. Listen to this album. I know Wayne's probably going to be mad at me for saying that shit, but just listen to this album. You listen to that album, listen to this album. Listen to both of them. Listen to both of those albums. Listen to both of those albums. And you know what's fucked up? I don't think Pusha T dissed Drake or Lil Wayne on his album. That's crazy. If I was Drake, I'd be pissed that I didn't get mentioned on this album. Like, them niggas is done with you. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, Pusha ain't got nothing to say about Drake on this album. That means that Drake really fucked up. Like, but this album is so... what I just said goes tacked on to how good this album is. Like, this whole time, they just rapping, they getting it in. And another thing I do like too is, as far as the production goes, these first couple songs are just on some like movie, like some of these songs sound like they should be in a movie. And now I also see why they've been playing these songs at these Louis Vuitton shows, because maybe I'm late to the game. I didn't know that Pharrell was producing this whole album. And it's because Pusha T is connected to so many artists, along with No Malice as well. Both of them have connections in this game. They've been around. They OG vets have been around for a long time. But they're connected to so many artists. For those that don't know, Pusha T, I think one of the people that he works with, basically let him know like, hey, like you should definitely do this feature on this. I think it was like a dubstep or a techno song, and dubstep and techno songs are like formatted to where all they need is just a few bars, but then they are able to modulate the pitch and bend the voice and do all these things with the voice to make it so that that quote is basically replayed throughout the song as the song changes. So there's massive money within that, but at the same time, Pusha T also has other businesses, and I'm not talking about drug dealing right now. I'm talking about other businesses. I've seen interviews where he's talking about like shit that really does generate money, stuff that you wouldn't expect him to have in circulation. But this is a really intelligent human being. I really like watching him and No Malice do interviews. Like it feels great seeing his brother there with him. He has success without his brother, but it's different when his brother is there. Like when his brother is there, it's like, oh, okay, I'm ready. And on top of that, like I said, they're the only people who could pull an album of production out of Pharrell. They're some of the only people. If you've seen Piece by Piece, you know that they've been tied to Pharrell since they were kids. Real important. So this album is paced well. The beats are dope. Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face, one of my favorite tracks.
Plug as the new plug, the reuniters. D-class in my ears, now let me see you bite it. She want Mike Tyson, blow to the face. I'm talking 96, Hov with the bass. She want Mike Tyson, blow to the face. Slalom height, she want snow on a plate. Half price when the blows in the crates means more ice for the moles and the ace. Made $1 million off a flow to the nays. Niggas saying that it won't just a phase. 911 turbo with the glaze. Top dollars poking holes in the case.
So people thinking hip hop is dead. Like you can hear he's got his drums formatted. Like it's new, but it's old. If you know what I'm saying. Like it fits right there where you expect Clipse to be at this time. Like it sounds like they ain't missed a step. It sounds like they've been rapping every day since Lord willing. Like it sounds like they ain't missed a step. So that's just the end of one track, Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face. That's Malice's verse. They got this track, Inglorious Bastards, that's got a dope ass beat. This song with Stove God, fire as fuck. All these songs are fire as fuck and they're all different. So be it, dope as fuck. Another reason why I'm giving this album such a high rating too is because I'm gonna assume that there's people who ain't heard none of this shit before, haven't seen the music video for So Be It, haven't heard Ace Trumpets. So Be It alone, just the final bars that's in that song is enough to put someone on a fucking rabbit hole all night if they're not already up on game. So this shit right here just goes to tap into Pusha T's level of lyricism. No Malice, same. No Malice fucking slaughtered every shit that he did on this. Like both of them just, you know what? Let me think about this. If you've ever played the game Double Dragons on Sega Genesis, that's these two right here. And I really like how these visualizations within these music videos.
Grinding, you know what I keep in the lining. Niggas better stay in line when you see a nigga like me shining. Grinding, you know what I keep in the lining. Niggas better stay in line when you see a nigga like me shining.
So these are two twins, I'm assuming from where they're at, Virginia. I can't even assume they're from there. But the only reason I assume that is because I assume that they're probably some people from a neighborhood near where they reside. But I might even be wrong about that. Either way, they're both doing what we used to do back in the day when that song came out. And I just wanted to point that out because that was different than now. When that song came out, Grinding, that shit took off. People was on lunch tables banging and beatboxing that shit for years. And on top of that, a big percentage of the producers that started producing within these last 20 years started producing solely because of that song. Some of them solely because of that song, because that first time that shit looped at their studio, cha-ching. So that's just a little sprinkle on top. Like, hey, by the way, this is us. Like, this is crazy. Like, this, like, just that little 10 seconds at the end of this music video with to do that, I thought was nuts. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, they really fucking with us now. So for those that don't know, the Clipse, Pusha T, and Malice song Chains and Whips, the official music video, dropped today. Let's take a look. And before I even play this, I wanted to point out that me showing the Tyler, the Creator music video and the Kendrick Lamar music video at the beginning of this, the whole purpose was to show that when they do music videos, it's a little bit different than everyone else. I thought Kanye's involvement was some way kind of swaying shit a little bit, but nah, like everything still matches when he's not involved at all. And it makes me think that Pusha T has a director mindset. Hopefully this shit don't get blicked, but let's see. We're gonna react to this. So I want to say that whoever this dude is, wait, what was his name? Gabriel Moses. Shout outs to him. I feel like either he has a really good director mindset or he really sat and listened to what Pusha T and No Malice wanted to do with this visualization. But this shit I think is dope as fuck. If anyone's seen The Wall by Pink Floyd, this kind of reminds me of like that type of stuff.
Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
This is culturally inappropriate.
So here's the thing. Throughout the album, you keep hearing that this is culturally inappropriate. And at one point, and I might be wrong about this, but at one point, I think Pharrell chops that to where it says, this is culture. And the whole album, I kept thinking about that and the importance of that too. Because as DJs or just producers in general, when they take that freedom and that DJ experience and you start doing stuff like that, it definitely rings a bell. But I do like how throughout the whole album it keeps saying that, and at the same time throughout the whole album Pharrell just keeps switching these beats. But this is one of those songs in particular where when I was listening to it the first time, I was thinking to myself like, wow, this sounds like some shit that would be in a Quentin Tarantino movie. But this is like just the sounds that are in the background, it kind of to me sounds like some shit that reminds me of The Matrix. And that's just an example of Pharrell delving into different sounds. Even the visualizations with this whole bending and all this shit matches that. I think it's dope as hell. After this, a couple songs into the album, you start hearing the shit that you expecting, basically. All the old heads, like you start hearing the shit that you expecting.
You run from the spirit of repossession. Too much enamel covers your necklace. I buy bitches, you buy them sections. You buy watches, I buy collections. Misery's fueling your aggression. Jealousy's turned into obsession. Reality TV is mud wrestling. Some signs.
Yeah, this right here. This is what I was saying earlier about them displaying him as a shadowy figure. This right here, like this shit, and even what they did in the So Be It music video. Like I like how they do all this shit, like the whole like just bending and
checks I know better than. Beware of my name that there's delicate. You know I know where you're delicate. Crush you to pieces, I hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it. You think it be valor amongst veterans. I'm watching your face.
I will close your heaven for the hell of it. So let's think about that. That might be the only line that he said that had anything to do with Drake, to be honest, out this whole album. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like you really did open up a hole with a you the one who broke the armor for this shit to happen, because man, that's a L. That
escape relevance. We all in a room, but here's the elephant. You chasing a feature out of your element, and those lab diamonds under inspection. The question marks block your blessings. It's no tombstones in the desert. I know by now you get the message. Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just getting rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips. It don't take much to put 2 and 2. Your lucky streak is now losing you.
Oh man, I miss No Malice being on these fucking tracks. Oh, this is nuts.
Money's dried up like a cuticle. You're gasping for air now, it's beautiful. John 10:10, that's my usual. Mamas is falling out in funerals. And bomb and blow, they now viewing you. They never find the guns, but the sewers do. Bubbles was sick, he need medicine. Brought him back to life, now he dead again. Richard don't make watches for presidents. Just a million trapped between skeletons. This the darkest that I ever been. The diamonds make you taste peppermint. You ain't thriving the snow like it's the Revenant. And send orders back down to keep shoveling. Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just getting rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
Yeah, like the vision. I know I keep saying this, but the visualization is real important. Like, this is art. Like, a lot of people ain't seen hip hop art in a while, but this right here, all this shit, all these music videos and stuff that I was talking about from the past, from their first album till now, all this shit is art. That's the one thing that they got that a lot of people don't have. All this club shit, I'm
not the candidate to vibe with. I don't fuck with the kumbaya shit. All that talent must be God sent. I send your ass back to the cosmics.
Man. Talking about gods and cosmics. Like, just those things together are an argument. Like, how do I say that? Like, just those two things together have deep opposition in the world in general. Like, just think about that. Cosmics and God. Like, just those two things have heavy opposition in the world. And like a lot of people ain't gonna point that out. Like, these artistic levels of lyricism, these dudes are top tier, including Tyler the Creator, top tier lyricists. And that's why I'm really glad that they started the album off with both of them back to back.
The things I seen under my eyelids, kaleidoscope dreams, murder and sirens. Let's be clear, hip-hop died again. Half of my profits may go to Rakim. How many Judases that let me down? But fuck it, the West Minds, we right now. Therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck. The two-time Gemini with the genocide. I'm generous, however you want it. I'll be the gentle kind. Gentlemen and gangsters connect. The agenda of mine. Move niggas up out of here. This shit get gentrified. Heavy jeans like Genevieve's. I drop your Pentagon and show up at your gender reveal. And tell them, give me mine. I son niggas, I am the general. Wear my gin and juice. Every song in the book of Genesis. Let the sonics boom. Niggas want the tea on me. Well, here's the ginger root. I generate residuals, bitch. Get off my genitals. They say I couldn't reach Gen Z. You fucking dickheads. You must be full of that ginseng. Here comes the jinx, yeah. They genetics been synthetic. Screaming they genius. A finger wave, they all fall. Niggas is Jenga. God gave me light. A good year full of free will. Trunk card, tell me not to spare your life. Motherfucker. You know we get calling and look side to side like what did they say in the ignorance voice, and then you realize that the devil is talking to you.
They didn't even need a snare drum. To me, that's crazy. They just tore that shit down. And on top of that, like I said, like it's deeper than what you're hearing. Some of the single lines that's in there have deep meaning. Deep meaning. A lot of people didn't even catch that whole cosmics and God sent shit. Like a lot of people didn't catch that. There's a lot of lines throughout this album that a lot of people just aren't gonna catch. Like I'll close your heaven for the hell of it. That's, man, top tier lyricism. That's really what this album is, and I'm really glad it's not crazy long. It's like 40 minutes. It fits on one single vinyl LP. I need to cop that. If you ain't listened to this already, give it a listen. This album review is real important because, like I said, or actually I can't remember if I said, but real soon me and my partners we're gonna do some content, and Genius kind of has to do a little bit with it. But shout outs to Ken Partridge for his, I'm not gonna say review, but his description on the album. But yeah, this is a solid album. If you ain't heard it already, definitely give it a listen. Peace out.